Hello and welcome to this tutorial on creating a hand in Maya. This is going to be a simple low polygon hand, the kind you might want to use in a video game. Although the techniques I'm going to be using here, you can certainly apply them to more complex things as well. So in order to get started, we're going to begin with a template that we're going to reference in order to guide the hand. So if I open up Photoshop here, you can see I've already drawn a picture of a hand, and we're going to use this to guide us when we create the 3D hand in Maya. So let's get back to Maya. Okay. And I'm going to start off by creating a surface to put that image on. So I'm going to click there to create a new plane, and let's zoom in a little bit. Now let's rotate that plane so that it's pointing down the z-axis. Right now it's pointing straight up on the y-axis. We'd like it to go down the z. So in order to do that, you rotate it around the x by 90 degrees. And let's actually press the number 6 key so you can actually see that plane shaded there. Okay, and right now that is looking straight down the z-axis, and you can tell that just by looking at that little control over there to show you which way the z-axis goes. Now next thing we're going to want to do is put a texture on this plane. So let's open up Hypershade, and let's create a new Lambert shader. Okay, and let's bring the attribute editor over here and connect the color of this Lambert to a file. And for that file, we're going to select that hand texture. Now I've already exported the hand as a texture from Photoshop, so you can see the image right there. So let's just open that, and there's the file right there. You can see it. Let's take that up. And now let's drag the material from Hypershade on to our plane by pressing the middle mouse button and dragging it and dropping it. Now if we zoom in here, you see this is a little bit squashed compared to what we had in Photoshop originally. Now if you look at Photoshop, you can see this is 568 pixels by 775 pixels. So let's scale that plane so that that matches. So I'm going to click on the plane there, and I'm going to click in 5.68, okay, it started at 1, let's zoom it a little bit. That 5.68, and the height was 775, so let's change Z to 7.75. And now you can see that that is exactly the dimensions that we need. So that is scaled to exactly the same size as the original image. Now when we model the hand, we're going to model it in the middle here. So we're going to want to move that plane back a little bit so that it doesn't get in our way when we're modeling. And next thing is just thinking ahead here. When we start modeling the hand here, we don't want to be accidentally selecting the plane. So what we're going to do is come down here to Layers and create an empty layer. We're going to click on that layer and right click and go to Add Selected Objects. Actually, let's rename that layer to Template so that we know that this is just going to be for the background for our reference. And then the nice thing about putting it in a separate layer like that is you can use these buttons down here, and when you click on an R there, then it's no longer possible to select that, which means we won't be accidentally selecting it when we're creating the hand. So that's our basic setup here. Now let's go on to actually creating the hand. So first thing let's go over here. Now I'm going to press the 6 key so in the front view so we can see the hand there. And I'm going to press the space bar to maximize that window and zoom in. And now you can see that we have a picture of the hand facing directly us, and this gives us a nice clean reference that we can start modeling on. And to begin with, I'm going to create a basic polygon cube to start the modeling with. And if you right click and go onto the vertex, you can see all the different vertices that we have available here. And I'm going to start off just by making the most basic rough-in shape. I'm going to move those vertices to be the anchor points on the base of the hand here. So we're going to select that. Oh, and we have the translate tool clicked on over here. So when I select that and move it over, select that, move it over, and select that and move it over. See, now we have the very basics of the hand blocked in now. Now one problem now is that this geometry is completely opaque, so we can't really see the hand through it. So what we're going to do next is we're going to create a special material just for modeling purposes, just to make it more convenient to be able to see things. So let's open up Hypershade again, and actually let's move that out of the way there. And I'm going to create a new Lambert material called Lambert. And okay, let's assign that new Lambert material to our basic hand there. And let's give that a nice color so that's easy to identify. Let's give it sort of a nice purpley color. Sort of it should be something visible, but not so bright that it overwhelms you. And so we now have a nice purple hand there. But the best thing here is we can also adjust the transparency. And actually let's go back to the front view here. See, right now it's opaque, but when we move the transparency slider, all of a sudden it becomes possible to see through it. And this is a really convenient way to be able to see through the geometry to see what the sketch is behind it. So let's move that out of the way, and let's continue going here. Now eventually we're going to want to put bones in this hand, which means we're going to have to think ahead of where we want to put the creases. So we're going to want to have a nice crease here, because if you think of your fingers and your bones, the joint of the bone doesn't actually start up here. Your first knuckle is actually down here buried inside your hand. So we're going to want a nice crease below that joint, and another nice crease up here where the fingers finally emerge. So we're going to want an extra line down here, we're going to want a line coming down here, maybe one coming down here. And we're going to do that by using the edge loop tool. Now, I've added it to my toolbar up here, but if you want to do it through the Maya menu, you can also select Edit Mesh, come down to, where is it? It's in here. Yeah, you get used to using the shelf after a while. There it is, Insert Edge Loop tool right there. Okay, and now what we're going to do is select the edge here, and that is, not only is that going to cut straight across, but if we look at our 3D view up here, that made it cut all the way around. And so let's go back to this window down here, and if we make another one up here, and now that edge loop isn't just going to simply cut down like that. And I lost Maya. That was odd. Huh, I don't know why that happened. But we're back now. And so if we click the space bar, and you can see that that loop went all the way around as well. So we're going to continue doing that, and make another one over here. And that's a very good start. So we're going to go back to selecting vertices, and let's just position those guys in to the right place. Follow the lines of the hand here. And you see this is starting to look a little bit more like a hand already. Okay, now the next thing we're going to want to do is add some extra parts to the hand. We're going to want a finger over here, finger here, another one here. I want a thumb over here. and we're going to want something down here to be the bottom of the hand. So we're going to do that. We're going to start doing that by creating another cube, and this guy is going to start off as being that finger over there. So let's start by moving him up, and let's change it to that transparent purple color we created. So we're going to right click, going to go down and assign existing material, and I believe our purple color was called Lambert 3, so let's click that. In fact, let's rename that material so that it's easier to remember in future. So we're going to click over here on Lambert 3, going to change its name to model color, just so that we know that this is a special material we created for modeling and isn't really going to be used in the final. Okay, and so let's get those vertices into position. Right click, vertex, move that into place, and that one too. And let's add in some more edge loops by clicking on the edge there, and so that edge loop approximately hits that segment of the finger. Put that one there. Now later on we're going to be adding in some extra edge loops, but right now because we're still in the rough stage, we're going to keep it simple. We just want to get the general graceful form of the hand in. So we're going to move those vertices again, right click, there we go, vertex, and get those sausage fingers to follow that gently sweeping arc. Okay, now we're going to want those fingers over there too, so we're going to right click object mode, select the entire object, going to press Ctrl D to duplicate it, then going to press the W key and move that copy over, going to press Ctrl D again to duplicate it, and then we're going to move it over again and Ctrl D duplicate. Okay, that looks good. And now we're going to fiddle with those vertices to move them into shape. So right click vertex, then select, press W, and now you can move them again. And just following the joints there. And this doesn't have to be perfect, just get it generally following the contours here. Another thing that I'm doing is, you see in my original drawing there was a little bit of gap between the fingers here, but I'm going to have these sort of more come to a point, so I'm not following the guide exactly, but I'm coming pretty close. And get over there. Just so that all those fingers sort of meet at a point there. Okay, just putting this together. Okay, and actually let's make that a little bit more even on top. Right click, vertex. Okay, and now let's get this thumb working here. Vertex. Now we want this to sort of curl around that way. So let's move those all the way. Let's move that guy up to the top there. Up to the top. And this is sort of going to get a nice curl here. There we go, that looks about right. And last we're going to need something for the bottom here, so let's create a new cube. Let's move that down. It's going to assign the material, go right click, assign existing material, and it's off screen here, but I'm going to select the model color material. And so now that's nice light purple there. Right click, go to vertex, move that into place. Okay, now see we have this sort of gap here. We're going to deal with that by adding in another edge loop right here. So we're eventually going to, okay, and so that edge loop is right there, so we're going to click there, and right click, vertex. Now we can move that so that that connects up nice and smoothly like that. And let's save our work. Going to press Control S, and let's call that hand 1, just so we don't lose our work. So let's zoom out again, go back over here, and we can see we have this nice basic hand shape taking place. And I think I'm going to end this first half of the tutorial now. Come back next time when we finish creating this hand.